what time they he killed information about their attack on the attack. Now we have to know that there is a war on between the satanic forces and the divine. Now you are the people who have chosen to be divine. But even if you have chosen that and God has accepted you and has given you your own power, you must know that you are still vulnerable very much to the attack of the negative upon you. Now always one has to remember that divine will win in end. There is no doubt of it. Supposing you fail the divine, you will be the loser, not the divine. If you all fail the divine, then you will be destroyed as negatives. So in the ultimate destruction, divine will finish off all that is satanic. There is no doubt about it. But how many people are going to be destroyed with Satan? So you all have to be very much alert that you are to be saved. And you are not going to be one of those who are destroyed. The more we say, the better will be our enjoyment. The more people we say, there will be a greater power flowing, and the effect of that impact will be such that we might ourselves able to negate all that is satanic, and a very little will be left which will be different. So the responsibility on this earth is to understand that there is a war going on. Now this war is within and without. First basic thing, within and without. First we must see the within. The within war is that we are the spirit or not. Very simple. We are the spirit or we are not the spirit. If we are the systemic, that means we are not ego, we are not superego, and we are not this body, this mind or anything, but we are the spirit, which is perfect. So all the imperfections that come within us are our own, and we are responsible for the imperfections, because whatever God does is perfect. And when we see that there are imperfections, that is also a very big if. If we see, because that seeing is also not possible for many people. They are so blinded by their ego, they cannot see, they are not aware of it. Or some are so blinded by their possessions and superego, they cannot see. If you tell them that you have a superego, they get double ego. If you tell them you have an ego, they get superego. Because they are still identified with that. So to be able to see, first of all, is the first step. But if you see, it's absolutely a big if. See that you are not perfect, that you are not to justify your imperfections, that you are not your imperfections, but you are your perfect being. You are actually, but just now you are not. So the movement is very, very slippery in the beginning. So one by one, you must put your foot steadily as a climber on a snowy mountain path. First step should be that Can we see our imperfections, not others? First of all, not to see others is the first principle of Sahaja. First principle of Sahaja Yoga is not to see others' imperfections. What is the game? I just can't understand this, because I'm very differently made. I can't understand what's the use of seeing imperfections of others. You cannot correct it. You cannot do anything about it. By seeing them, you do not improve. By seeing them, you cannot improve collectivity. So, there is no sense in seeing others' imperfections. Now, first of all, see your own problems, your own angularity, your own misidentifications and imperfections. When you start seeing them, then the first thing you will do, best way to avoid everything. Avoidance is a very great character of human beings. But in a subtle way, it is insincerity to yourself, to your ascent, and to God. So face it. Now you see your imperfections correctly, in the sense, you see, yes, I am possessed, no doubt. If I am possessed, why should I be possessed? I must do everything that is under my control to get rid of it. Now, a possessed person is always an abnormal person. Either he doesn't talk, or if he talks too loudly. They are in dualities, always remain. Either he is very hot tempered, or he is oversweet. Any person who is extremely sweet, all the time is very sweet, never gets angry, that's abnormal. Should be able to sometimes show your anger. For example, somebody beats your mother, won't you be angry? At that point, you should be angry. You have to be. If you have a personality, and a discreet, wise personality, you should be angry if somebody does anything to you. You should be angry. That anger is given for that right correction of a person who tries to harm the source of wisdom. Source of it. So that anger is alright, justified. And in that way, one should again not to be deluded that if mother has said at that time anger is alright, then anger is justified. This is the trouble with human beings, is that they generalize everything. So one has to know one thing, that you were human beings. Now today you are yogis, but you are human beings. And that human beingness is still there in you, still lingering in you. And all these things are like caterpillars, parts are still hanging around you, that you still behave like human beings. You should not, you should behave like a yogi. And yogi is discreet by nature. He knows where to get angry, he knows where not to get angry. But for a Sahaja Yogi, one has to learn it by dropping out all those human beingness that is attached to you. So the discretion, and that wise discretion, is to be developed. Like Krishna has said that you have to go and fight. Take the swords in your hand and fight the enemy. One would say that Krishna has said, take the sword in your hand, now go on killing everyone. Then even Hitlerism can be justified. He said, your enemies. This is important. Your enemies. Now who are your enemies? Who go against your ascent. There are 6 in number. One is lust. Lust. Of course, perversions are out of question, but even too much of lust, like you see, too much attachment to husband, too much attachment to wife. But the other side is also there. Running away from sex is another nonsense, you see. That's another sign that you are possessed. Definitely, no doubt. If you are husband and wife, you must have sex life, but a sensible one. And the relationship should be such that it should ultimately culminate into it, and not the way people all the time think of sex. If you think normally of sex, then it's something wrong. Only when you reach a point of that thing, then you should feel it. I mean, that's a normal way. Like when we don't think all the time of water, do we? When we are thirsty, only then we think, isn't it? But those who think about water all the time means you must be having lots of thirsty people within you. That they are asking for water, 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 water. It's a point where you reach, where you feel hungry about it. And there is a sense, there is a way of taking water. How much particularly we are about taking ordinary things like water. It should be from a clean source, whether it is coming from the kitchen or not, we'll first find out. It should be in a clean glass, from a clean person, everything. We are very fussy on that part. I wish we could be the same way fussy about our married lives. That this is something where we put your heart and mind. Are we clean enough? Are we sweet enough? Are we all right? So this is one of the very important attacks I have seen. You marry a person and it's finished in this country. In India it's different. Here if you marry a person, suddenly you find God knows what happens. They all end up into lunatic asylums. I mean, that's a pass for them to drop out. One of the big thieves is marriage in the West. So these thieves are there, so be careful not to drop out of the thieves. And keep your mind upon yourself, judging yourself how we work out. So the first one is kama, is the lust. Second, very important, is krodha. So Krishna has put krodha above kama, is there anger, heated personality. Angry. He thinks that krodha comes even before kama. He was so much against anger. If you are an angry person, take out anger upon yourself. Beat yourself nicely. Best thing is to beat your face. Then you are hurt a little bit. So you remember it to begin with. Then you beat yourself on the ground with shoes every morning. You get angry, alright, help. Because this heated temperament is a big curse, is your enemy. That gives you a very great weakness against collectivity. You see, a heated man never realizes that he is an angry man. And that's the base of satanic forces. Because they act on you because they are angry with you. They are jealous. Maybe any reason. They are angry with God. The whole base is anger and hatred. So the second point is we should see, have we got anger within us? If you have anger, you cannot enjoy a sunshine, you cannot enjoy a flower, you cannot enjoy anything. Ultimately, you can't even bear yourself. The best way to punish such a person is to put him in a jail, alone. Then he faces himself, then he gets rid of it. That's the best way, I think. That's not the way I can understand. That separate him. Let him put into seclusions. When he goes into seclusion, he'll have to face himself. And then he looks at him, gets angry. And then that anger goes on. If you keep with them, with others, you see, then he has a chance to get more angry. Maybe he might grow into his anger more. So the kama, krodha, mada is the third thing. Kama, krodha, mada. Mada is what you call is the pride. Or pride is a decent word. Vanity. It comes out of ignorance. If you are supposed to be good looking, I don't know the quality, understanding of good looking and beauty is also so different that I used to think somebody is a very ugly man, and it seems that he's supposed to be handsome according to Western standards. I said, oh God, how can he be handsome? Yes, he's very handsome, mother. And I was surprised at how, according to Indian standards, nobody would marry such a man, you see. But such a man here is a very handsome man. It's more surprising that how our ideas of beauty also change. But I would say, in this, fundamentally, one should understand that those people who normalize everything by their thinking, you see, the beauty should be means this. Face should be such, the nose should be such, and this and that is all being sort of measured out. You see, this is beauty. Then all these ideas of beauty that are thought out, not spontaneous, again I say, are not beauty. So people who have pride about these things, like, oh, I have a very beautiful house, maybe the ugliest house you could think of, could be the ugliest. I tell you, some of the houses, I just couldn't enter in, I felt like vomiting. And for some people, it's the house one should go and visit. It's all bhoots sitting here and there. If it was a beautiful house, no bhoot would enter it. Is a Suchita. Is the beauty is in purity. Purity is the expression of beauty. If you have no purity, there cannot be beauty. Now, will you please listen to me and then take a photograph? We have been trying for 1 hour, and you will try for 3 hours. You cannot get it. So you better listen to me. Now, the purity of a person is very important. And then once you have purity, you have no pride. You become prideless. Absolutely prideless. Because that is also a kind of a stigma. When it is purity, everything drops out. So to be proud of something, or vain, I mean all pride so-called are vanity. Nobody is rightly proud. You have to be proud of your virtues because you enjoy them. You have to be proud of things of which you enjoy. Enjoy. Not happy, but enjoy. Again, discrimination is there. Now, when you start judging yourself like that, you will be amazed. Best is to judge by children's reaction. Not by a bhuti child, but a good realized soul child. Some women, you see, I have seen dressed up with all that thing and everything like that, you see. And when a child sees it, you see, he can't bear the woman, and men are running after her. You see, you can't just understand, a child just can't bear. I have known many such cases, you see, where the children would not look at them, they will just start like that. And best experience I had when I was going. Once I went to Japan, and we had a lady with us, very self-conscious American lady, dressed up like that, and I don't know, she had put some sort of a big thing on her head. God knows what was that. She took about 3 hours to get ready. She went to a beauty salon, this thing, because we were going to see some big man there. And this fellow had a house which was approached by a long road where you have to climb up something. Funny man. So we went there. Now this, on the way, on the left-hand side of that road, there were some little houses from where little children, Japanese, very sweet children, came up to see. And they just rushed to me and I was playing with them. Suddenly one child looked up and this one was there. She said, and now everybody, they all ran away. So I caught hold of a child. I said, why are you running? So he said something in Japanese. So I asked the interpreter what it is. She said, I'll tell you later, but let the child go away. Then I asked, what was the child saying? She said, she's a witch. And this lady had spent so much money, 3 hours dressing up herself. I don't know what she was looking like, but she's a witch, you see, they all ran away. And this child was pulling himself saying that, but I couldn't know what was that. So this is so-called beauty of men and women is vanity. Their houses, their possessions, their positions, all this pride is nonsense. The one who owns something has no pride because he really owns. When you really own, when you own everything, why should you be proud? But the way we are proud of our noses and eyes, sometimes I feel you don't own them. If they are part and parcel of your being, what is there to be proud of? So is mother. Then the third one comes as Matsara. Is the way we are sort of impressed by other things and we get jealous of other things. You see, even the jealousy can be subtler. Like if I pay attention more to someone or somebody is more allowed to come and see me, supposing by any chance, then people get jealous of that. On the contrary, one should know mostly I am looking after the people who are more affected. So maybe that there's something wrong with the person, nothing to feel jealous. So, to be jealous of such a person. So this is the person who comes to me feels mother, is the pride that he comes to me. And the others feel jealous of him, but he is poor thing going down every day. And the others are jealous of him. So this is the thing in Matsara. So we have got now, how many I have told you? Four. Now, another is attachment or attractions. This is the worst of it. Because the bhuts are always combined with bhuts. You see, in a group you will find, this group goes together. All the bhuts of one place combined together. You can make it out. In India, where there are people of different places, you see, Australia, England, say Switzerland, and in that also Cambridge, Brighton, then we can say in India also, you see, up to come to one small little, we can say group from Tamworth, alright. All these, you see, you can suddenly find them combined together. Suddenly. They all sit in groups. You can immediately make out. You can say Tamworth group food is there. This group food is there. You see, grouping is one of the ways people show the moha. Then it can go down. My daughter, my son, my this thing. Our country is the worst in this. My wife, my husband, my wife must have this. Why? Why should your wife have? My wife must have a bed. My wife must have a... Why? Why your wife is so special? She's a wife like anybody else. My child must have this. Why? Or I must have this. Why? This is moha. Moha is to say that I must have this for mine, my mind. First, I, my, mine. You can put it three. I, my, mine. These words should not be pronounced. It should be our. You must have noticed I say so many times. I, who is absolute I. I am absolutely alone, single. But so many said our. I say our disciples. Our disciples. Now who are the ours? It's me only. Who else is there? But so many times our disciples are there, our this thing, our. When Gregor wrote his book, I said, don't say I, say our. We. So you should never talk in I, but talk in we, or at the most if you have to talk about yourself, you should say, this Bala. This Bala wants to go. So you are separated from Bala in the third person. So the I must be dropped out and out because you have finished with it now. That's finished. You are no more that I which was closed up. So no more I exists. Just try to open out yourself to be one with the collective. This moha. then it can be very settler and settler. My country. Say to be proud of India now. I am supposed to be born in India. Sometimes I am so ashamed to be an Indian. So ashamed to be an Indian. I mean, then I feel if my hair were blonde, I would be a happier person. Sometimes I'm ashamed to be British. When I think the way they behave towards other countries. And sometimes I'm ashamed to be a developing country, and sometimes I'm ashamed to be a developed country because I can enter into any personality. But I better try not to be any one of these where I feel ashamed. There are good and bad points in everything. So why to get attached to anyone? Because everybody has 50-50%. So no use getting attached, you see. Who is Indian and who is British? It's made by human beings only. God has not made you like that. He just created one world with crazy human beings. They have done this nonsense, you see. So what is there to get attached to someone or detached? Everyone has got good points and bad points. So how are you to say, I don't like this man, I don't like that man? What is there to say? I mean, if I was to say like that, as I said many times, I would have been left high and dry. I don't think I would have a single companion with me. So whom to discard? And whom to get attached to this moha? And another is the desire to own something of possessions, lobha. I see, say, a very nice, what is this set is? Television? No. Huh? Stereo. Very good stereo with Bala. Then I must have it.
It's yours, man.
I don't know even how to operate. Why want to use a Miami? See, it's like that. This is to try to have something which you have. Say, I was coming in Tamworth. I was looking out what should I buy from Tamworth. So, why? What is the purpose? I bought two things. Philip, you remember? You might have forgotten. We went to that shop.
Yes,
ma'am. Yes.
Because that place, these things has been looked by many people have seen this. It's a beautiful thing, has good vibrations. So through those things I can put my attention onto the people who live there. So I always go and purchase something from a shop there somewhere which was on the outside where people were seeing it. They were coming, going, seeing, and their attention has been there. So through that I can work out my attention on these people who have put attention on it. That's matter. And that is how a matter is useful. Without matter, God cannot manifest. He had to materialize himself also in a form to talk to you. And there has to be a form through which he has to act. And that's how I have to get something like that. But when I find that this is alright, I've used it, then I'm not attached. I give it anything. You like it, alright, have it. Just have it. When I have it with me, I use it for a purpose. When I want to use it for someone that I'm generous, then I say, that have it. I use it for my generosity in both ways. So if you want to possess something, to have an attraction for something that you want to have, it should not be for your self-indulgence, but for using it for your generosity. Buy it for somebody. Best is never buy anything for yourself should be the principle. To begin with. And do not, now supposing you say, of course this is very nice, I must buy this for XYZ, somebody else, another surgeon. How many would come forward to buy? It's for yourself, one would. Now let us see from our budget, how much do we spend for buying things for others, apart from mother? Mother you will, but apart from mother. Alright? So, this is how we should get rid of our moha. And the neutralizing thing is there. Enjoy what you give. And do not enjoy what you possess. It's the best way to enjoy your generosity, and then you will be amazed that you will rise. Now, this is all for your own ascent, most selfish thing I am teaching. This is the most selfish thing. As you can say, swartha. Swartha is called as, if translated directly, it means selfishness. But swa-arth. Swa-arth means meaning of your swa is yourself. Sanskrit language is very clever. Selfishness itself means unselfish. See? Even there is self. I don't know why fish. But in English language, I don't know, but in India, fish is Shubha, auspicious. So selfish must be meaning that it should be auspicious for yourself. Selfish. But if the self is alright and the fish is smelling or rotting, then it becomes selfish, dirty one, isn't it? That's what it is. But it must be the meaning is auspiciousness for yourself. So this is the real selfishness, if you like the word. This is for your good, that we must be careful about, that we are always attacked on our weaknesses and not on our strong points. We should never be identified with our weaknesses, never justify them. Never justify them. Otherwise they will go deeper and deeper and deeper. Otherwise one will say, oh, it's not so, I'll give up. It's alright, that's the thing Sahaja Yoga is doing all the time. You don't know if there's a circle going on. You are thrown out of Sahaja Yoga circle. And you'll be thrown out just like that. Like a tangent you'll go away. And you'll never return back. And then where you will go, God alone knows. As it is. Who are you without Sahaja Yoga? Just think of it. What is your identity? You have nothing. So one has to remember that not to praise your weaknesses, not to support them, but to be looking out. Now a person who has a particular weakness, for example, say, of, you can say a very mild one like, is of keeping Mataji's photographs. Say a simple thing. After all, Mataji's photographs are there. Why not I keep to myself? Even such a subtle thing is a weakness. Mataji's photographs are to be enjoyed by everyone. Your possessions are to be enjoyed by everyone. There is nothing like private in surgery. That you enjoy. Even your wife is to be enjoyed by everyone as a mother. Even your husband is to be enjoyed as a father by everyone. Relationship may change, But we should allow our homes, houses, everything to be enjoyed by everyone. Now, if both are Sahajogis, there should be no problem. If one is a Sahajogi, then I can understand. If one is a Sahajogi and the other is not a Sahajogi, then it's a big problem. Alright. Because the possessions belong to one person and another person is not a Sahajogi, then it's very difficult. But when both are Sahajogis, then there should be no problem. It's to be enjoyed by everyone. There should be no objection on that one. Once you realize this point, that you will be attacked on your weaknesses, you will be very cautious and careful about your weaknesses. Be careful about your weaknesses, because these satanic forces are going to pull you down. All the possessions come to you on your weaknesses. Now we'll see the other side of it. There are pani there. One more side. They haven't come as yet. क्या फोन किया? आ रहे?
They've come already.
Who?
They're from London.
I have come. Where are they? They're sitting outside. Are they listening to me?
Yes.
All right, good idea. I have come. Chalo. One more thing, one other side, which I must tell you. Now the bhoots that come into us, they come from outside. Now this is another thing. Despite our side, the outside. The bhoots that come from outside, how to save yourself? They also, if they have come through Gurus, then I have told you how to get rid of it. Must go on saying, Mother, you are my Guru, I am my own Guru, I have nothing to do with that, you know all that. So try to work it out. Certain Gurus have got their own names as Rakshasas, you should know how to get rid of them and beat them out, and that's how you can work it out. They also work on your weaknesses of, say, somebody wants to be a great leader in Sahajoga. They will come. Outside. Somebody wants to be obstinate. They will come. Somebody wants to be showing off. They will come. Now they can become very settler. You see, there's someone who is talking ill about Sahajoga or even slightest doubt. Never listen to that. Never talk to that. That person is possessed. What is there to doubt, Sahajoga? What is there to doubt? It's more than sunshine. There's nothing to doubt about Sahajoga. Anybody who doubts, you just say, I have nothing to do, I don't want to talk to you, will be possessed. Anybody who is not surrendered to Sahajoga or to me, you are not to look at that person. Have nothing to do with that person. Just get out of it. Nothing doing. We don't want this filth. That person will improve and you will improve also. But if you allow that person, you see, to come round and talk to you, be sweet to you, they don't talk against Sahajoga. We've seen the light, you have not seen the light, so shut up. We don't want to hear a single word against it. It's like sunshine, we have seen it. It has worked with us. Those who are doubting people have nothing to do with them. And you will be amazed how you will be seen. Anyone who says, now I will have nothing to do with Sahajoga, you say, get out immediately, you better not do it. It's the best. Leave us, spare us, get out. Anybody who tries to show we are, I need all the sympathies of the world and all that. Some people are like that, I was about to commit suicide. Tell them to commit suicide immediately. Do not play into the sympathies of the people. Also, you see, these are how the bhoots come. I am very sick, I deserve this, that. Alright, go to mother. Use photograph, do this, but we are not going to cure. Nothing. Because if you start curing a person, you will get sick yourself and you will have a problem for your mother. It has happened with so many people. Recently there was a case and a lady was trying to commit suicide. I told them, you better tell you commit suicide. And she was shocked. Because, you see, this is a very subtle thing that we want to be compassionate. Are you more compassionate than God is? Are you? No. Let it to happen through God. You just don't try. to help a person to get cured. None of you should try. I will tell you when you have to do that. Not now. Just now you people do not try to cure people. If somebody wants cure, alright. You can vibrate the lemons and give. That much you can do. You have that much power. You can vibrate the water and give because you are yogis, no doubt. But you do not personally touch that person. Please do not do it. You will be affected, very badly affected. Some of them are suffering from horrible diseases. And if these diseases grow into you, you will not know how to control it. So please do not try to check them or do anything. Give them a photograph if you want. They can use the photograph. Ask them to sit in the water. After using the photograph, tell them to keep the photographs to themselves. Do not take it back. Be careful on this point so that they do not attack you. This is one way they attack. Then a person who is very hot-tempered, better receive from such a person. Because if you try to argue with that person, you will get the boots upon yourself. If somebody is angry, you said you are heated, finish. Don't talk, just don't talk with that person. Have nothing to do. Because you get the boots upon yourself. You see, you are not to neutralize such a person. Just get out of it. Try to remember what I have said to you. That you are not to go on fighting or arguing with anyone whatsoever. If somebody is argumentative, let him be argumentative. Do not go and argue. You can tell me about it. I will treat that person out. You should not take things into your hands. God is operating His own laws. You should not take His laws into your hands and start operating. First of all, one should know either you are attacked from the left or the right. The right people are the ones who come and attack you by their operation. With such people, you just shut up from them and they'll be alright. If they are left alone, they will know what they are. You talk loudly, assertively, and all that. Just keep them out. Don't have a relationship with them. Obstinacy. Some person is a very obstinate person. Just give up. Give up. You have not to cure them. You have not to save them. You have not to achieve anything. If they are obstinate, you are obstinate. Finished. You have nothing to do with it. You go ahead. What's this for getting stuck with an obstinate man or an obstinate woman? This is what one has to realize and one has to go further with it. Now, you think about it, you will get inspiration and you will know how to manage these negative forces away. Avoid all external attachments that you have. Like somebody is very much used to TV, better not see. Somebody used to so much cinemas, better not see. Somebody is used to this, better not see. Gradually you find you will be very discriminating. For example, I don't normally like sopranos very much, the way they go on. All sopranos are not good, but there are so many like Elizabeth Schwartz.